Hey gamers, this is John, host of Video Games in the World, and today, since it's the last week of September, our episode is about the history of the cancelled title, Silent Hills. I do this episode since it's the last week of September, and in 2 days, October begins, which means another Halloween is slowly creeping up on us once again. Silent Hills is a video game that I had such high hopes of playing since I got my PS4 3 years ago and playing the demo PT. Unfortunately, it got cancelled, and all of my hopes, as well as the hopes of many other gamers who were so eager to play this game, were all broken and shut down to nothing. Now, before this is all said and done, I will explain to you the scary history that is Silent Hills once and for all people. Enjoy! Development for Silent Hills began on September 2012. The president of Konami asked Kojima to direct the next installment of Silent Hill, and the former accepted the offer with great enthusiasm, and development began using Kojima Productions' Fox engine. Hideo Kojima is well known for video games such as Metal Gear Solid, Son of the Enders, and Policenauts. When he was asked about the project, Kojima stated the following: "In the past, I've mentioned Silent Hill in interviews, and as a result of that, the president of Konami rung me up and said he'd like me to make the next Silent Hill. Honestly, I'm kind of a scaredy cat when it comes to horror movies, so I'm not confident I can do it. At the same time, there's a certain type of horror that only people who are scared of can create. So, maybe it's something I can do. That said, I think Silent Hill has a certain atmosphere. I think it has to continue, and I'd love to help it continue. And if I can help by supervising or lending the technology of the Fox engine, then I'd love to participate in that respect." The game was to be the 9th installment in the Silent Hill franchise. For this installment, not only Kojima would direct, but also famous Mexican movie director Guillermo del Toro will be a co-director. Guillermo del Toro is known for movies such as Mimic, Blade 2, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, Pacific Rim, and many more. PT is a playable teaser that was released on August 12, 2014 on a PlayStation 4. It was released as a free download on a PlayStation Network. PT served primarily as an interactive teaser to Silent Hills. This game was directed by both Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. It was developed by Kojima Productions under the pseudonym of 7780 Studio and published by Konami. Unlike previous titles of the Silent Hill franchise, in which the gameplay was from a third-person perspective, it was played from an FPS perspective. Players will control an unnamed protagonist who awakens in a haunted suburban house and experience supernatural horrors and occurrences. Available areas to explore in the house consist of an L-shaped corridor with 2 rooms adjacent to it, a bathroom, and a staircase which leads to the room in which the player starts a loop or a continuous reincarnation of the corridor. The player's only actions are walking and zooming, and in order to progress further, players need to solve cryptic puzzles and investigate horrifying events. Each time a puzzle is completed, changes occur in the corridor. What was also disturbing in one of the loops is when players obtained the flashlight in the bathroom, there was an undeveloped crying fetus in the sink. This is a reference to the deformed fetus in David Lynch's Eraserhead. At the 7th loop of the corridor, the player will encounter a murderous and unstable ghost called Lisa. The radio will play the same news about a murder, but then a menacing voice starts chanting the number 204863 and other sentences, and then tells the player to look behind him or her. On that expression, players were in for the major jump scare of their lives. After falling to the floor dead, it is noted that there's a sound similar to unzipping pants, and it's hinted that she sexually molests a character. This could be a throwback to the original Pyramid Head in Silent Hill 2. When killed by Lisa, players are dragged back to the beginning and see a bloody back that speaks to them, warning them the following.
I walked. I could do nothing but walk. And then I saw me walking in front of myself. But it wasn't really me. Watch out. The gap in the door. It's a separate reality. The only me is me. Are you sure the only you is you?
After a few loops, players enter the hallways of insanity, where it is a red hallway designed to never escape from it until you find a hole in which you hear the radio chat about a murder. But before entering that hallway, players listen to a radio chatter in Swedish language with a demonic sounding voice, which is a reference to the hit radio drama War of the Worlds by Orson Welles. At the end of the demo, we see the main character walking down the streets and we finally get to see a glimpse of his face, revealing to be the one and only Norman Reedus. We all know him for his role as a fan favorite, Daryl Dixon, in AMC's The Walking Dead, based on the comic book series of the same name. The demo for Silent Hills was universally praised by fans and critics. It was given various awards such as Game of the Month in 2014 by GameSpot. Marty Silva of IGN chose PT as an honorable mention on his list of the best video game trailers of the year, describing it as one of the most interesting, gorgeous, and terrifying games he played that year. Lucy O'Brien from IGN as well described the game as the most genuinely frightening interactive experience in recent years, making it her choice for Game of the Year. Giant Bomb gave it Best Horror Game of the Year award to PT, saying that PT reminded us what happens when unlimited resources are thrown at a horror experience. Bloody Disgusting awarded it as the scariest game at the Fear Awards. The game also won Innovation in Game Technology at the 2014 Navigator Awards, National Academy of Video Game Trade Reviewers. Polygon ranked it as the 10th best game of the year, and Slant Magazine staff ranked it as the 8th best video game of the year. Kotaku's Patrick Klepek originally listed the game as number 1 on the list of the 10 best easily available horror games in February 13, describing it as a new king of horror. The game was replaced by Amnesia: The Dark Descent as number 1 when Silent Hills was cancelled and PT removed. In 2017, Games Radar ranked PT as the second best horror game of all time in a list of 20. Woe to People Who Were Anxious to Play came in 2015. In March 2015, sources reported that due to conflicts with Konami, Kojima and his senior staff plan to leave Konami following the completion of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Concurrently, Konami announced a restructuring of its video game business and removed references to Kojima and Kojima Productions from the promotional materials for its games. A Konami spokesperson denied that Kojima was leaving the company and stated that he would be involved with Konami and the Metal Gear franchise. On April 26, 2015, at the San Francisco Film Society event, Assistant Director Guillermo del Toro reportedly told attendees that the game had been cancelled. The next day, Norman Reedus also made statements on Twitter stating that the game had been cancelled. The same day, Konami announced that PT will be pulled from the PlayStation Store on April 29, 2015, and Polygon reported that an anonymous tip by a person familiar with the game's development had also confirmed the game's cancellation. On April 27, 2015, Konami issued a statement to Kotaku confirming that Silent Hills would not be continued, but that they plan to continue with the franchise. Many fans were so angry and upset by the cancellation that later started a petition on change.org asking for Konami to continue the project. As of March 4th, 2016, The petition has received 194,279 signatures. In a tweet from Guillermo del Toro, he revealed that horror manga artist Junji Ito would also have been involved with the project. Cliff Bleszinski was also asked to work on the project, but declined, later explaining on Twitter, "I don't like LA, I love new IP, and I would have fucked up Silent Hill." During Sony Interactive Entertainment E3 2016 press conference, the reformed Kojima Productions unveiled a new game called Death Stranding, which also features Ritas and Del Toro. Many fans have kept the demo of PT because it's no longer downloadable on the PS4, much to their utter fury. However, months later after its cancellation, there was a spiritual successor that was teased. It was created by an indie developer based in London and would be released only for Linux and PC. The game is called Allison Road. There are other spiritual successors in other ways, some of them good, some of them bad. And finally, in conclusion, I still have the demo on my PS4 up until this day, and I can remember how loud I screamed the first time I played this game while in the dark. It was an amazing experience, but I'm still angry and sad that this fantastic project will never come into the light, now that Konami has gone full idiotic by releasing their best titles into pachinko slots. But of course, I won't forget the awesome days of Konami with games such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Silent Hill, Castlevania, Life Force, Dance Dance Revolution, Contra, Metal Gear Solid, and many more. This wraps up our episode, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to comment, rate, support me on Patreon due to this adpocalypse, and subscribe. This is John, host of Video Games in the World. Have a good one, gamers. Bye-bye.